Hey, Gorehound here, and well, if you have been following the Facebook page, I've said that I've seen The Purge. Now, I don't know where to even start with this one. It's it's by no means a good movie. It's in fact a pretty bad one for multiple reasons other than its stupid premise, which essentially is just a home invasion movie, but it tries to be more than that, which actually kind of hurts it. Um, I guess that's the only way I can open up to this, because well, what's to really talk about? I'm going to go into spoilers, so might as well. So how does this work? How do I work this out? Well, the story is pretty much what you see in the trailer. Family gets invaded. Well, not family gets invaded. Family is secure in their tight bunker ass of a home, and their dumbass son lets in a man who's a wounded man, and that wounded man turns out to be a target of some unsavory individuals. Let's just call them that, and they do not take too kindly that they're given sanctuary to this man they're hunting. So they threaten to give his life for theirs, and the family fights for their morality and for their sake to fights for their morality and their life, I should add, to save their skin and get out alive. That's the basic premise. Now, what they present is a lot different, a little bit different actually, than what I initially expected it would be. For one, some what they points in the trailer would try to get me engrossed in this world, like the unemployment rate going down to 1%. It seems ridiculous actually to actually think that if you are participating in an event for 12 consistent hours where all crime, including murder, is freely to do without being charged, with no medical care, no police, firemen, or paramedics to assist you. Now, I do not understand that. For some reason, it just comes off as really, really silly. And this is coming from a guy who has seen like crazy shit like Martyrs, a Serbian film, Saulo, Caligula, that kind of shit. Now, at least in those movies, what they did had some meaning behind it. And to its credit, The Purge does have a sort of meaning behind it, some sort of cathartic release for the Americans who feel that they need to participate in killing someone just for the sake of killing someone, just for the feeling of release. That makes no sense. Let alone, they mentioned that the unemployment rate is 1%. Of course it's going to be low. They're killing everybody off, especially when the movie actually goes off to, brief little moment, actually discusses one thing that it says they kill off the lower class. That you see higher class people see the purge as a way to exterminate lower classes, meaning that they kill off homeless people or people who are employed. Middle class and the lower class are being exterminated by the high class. That actually would be compelling if they actually did it, but instead it just becomes an afterthought. I honestly don't even understand how, even why the purge even exists. They never even go into that much in detail about it. It's frankly one of the most ridiculous, like, I don't even the sheer concept of murder for 12 consistent hours is frankly horrifying, terrifying, and outright ludicrous. And for someone, apparently the new founding fathers who sanctioned this, and believe me, there are scientists in this film to both within the film that actually say that the purge is for the good. How did they get approval for that? This movie is 82 minutes, and these are the kind of questions that you're going to be left asking yourself. That why is this even happening? And well, I'll get to that. Why is this even happening? This entire movie bases itself around one thing: the stupidity of the son, which you can see in the trailer. Even in the trailer, the Purge is built to be some sort of a threat. And this stupid kid who's been learning about this in school, in the movie anyway, and he has the audacity to let a man that he does not know into his house in the middle of the night where crime is legal. I do not understand this. I found this hilarious. This movie was hilarious. At some point of the movie, I just stopped caring. I just be like, I'm rooting for the bad guys. Fuck them. The family deserves to die. If they didn't raise their son right to bring up in this dystopian society where crime is legal for one day, for 12 hours, and he chose to bring a homeless man, a wounded homeless man, being hunted, mind you, into their own house. What the fuck? You deserve to die. And in multiple times, this kid came close to death twice. And in those times, he had it coming. I wanted to see this kid die because he had to learn for his stupidity somehow. God. And while on this topic of characters, let's talk about our main characters. Ethan Hawke as the dad. I thought he was okay. Now, Ethan Hawke, he has been in a couple horror movies I liked. Most recently now, he's actually in more horror movies than he actually deserves to be in. The only one I actually liked in him was Daybreakers, the one with the vampires trying to cure themselves from sunlight. And yeah, I liked that movie. That movie was actually okay. It was inventive, gory, and a lot of fun. This movie was just short, unpleasant, and to the point where it just became hilarious. It became an incredibly dark comedy. And I should also bring up the fact that this movie was produced by Michael Bay. Michael Bay's production company, Platinum Dunes. Which I did not expect, actually. I thought this movie was completely original production, just to be like a completely like indie production, but apparently not. It I know I'm going all over the place, but I need to get this off my head for a moment. Just the fact that why? I looked at the budget, and the budget of this movie is about like $25 million. The budget. Let me just stress that. $25 million. The entire movie takes place in that house you see in the trailer. That's it. Everything you see in that house is excuse me, scratching, excuse me. But everything you see in that house is just exclusive to that house alone. Nothing. You see nothing. You know the Purge is supposed to be like this violent, cathartic event that this world is bringing it up as, but you see absolutely none of it. Absolutely zilch. Other than the family that's stuck in the home. Save for some clips and you see some people dying in the opening sequence, but other than that, nothing. I would even wager the fact that the footage of the Purge they show in the trailer is exactly what you see in the opening sequence. Now, I actually haven't gotten to the part where discussing the wife and the daughter. The daughter, in my humble opinion, is just as stupid as the son. Two reasons why. One, she has a boyfriend, mind you, who snuck into the house in the middle of their lockdown, brought a gun, and threatened and had the intention of killing her dad on the basis that he'll be dating her after his death, and that would be allowed him to be together freely because he kind of disapproves of this guy being a little older than she is from seeing each other. Sorry about that. My alarm went off on my phone, so yeah, I'll just splice this together in editing. But where was I? Oh yeah, the daughter. Okay. Yeah. I was talking about her boyfriend and how he actually brought a gun into the household. Yeah. Out of all the days you think that this guy shouldn't be away from your father and have a one-on-one talk with him with a pistol would be the fucking Purge. And he said he came up to the house uninvited, and he just said, like, "Hi, I'm here. I came to surprise you. Guess what? I want to talk to your dad. We're in the middle of lockdown, and I don't know how to. I think we should talk. I think we should meet you. I should talk to your dad. And talk one-on-one, no bullshit. We will have some words, and in the end, we'll see each other. I brought a gun. This is also the fucking Purge." Then again, he has a clear motive for what he's doing, and he dies shortly afterwards in a shootout with his dad. He deserved to die. It was self-fucking defense. Fuck the Purge. If a guy brings a gun in your household, fuck this. I live in Canada, and even if I did have access to kind of weaponry, if a guy came to my house with a loaded pistol, I would say I have grounds to defend myself any way possible. Fuck Purge or not. I'm opening up a can of worms here, but I'm saying I will defend myself. Even if there was a dystopian society that openly declared murder, I would find some way to protect myself. And to this credit, the movie actually does it and has people fortified in their house. Now, the second reason why I don't like the daughter is that she spends the most of the movie invading, just wandering around the house. She does aimless, her character is aimless and does nothing. Then evade, just wanders around the house, and sometimes she just shows up. Okay, now I got to talk about the wife, which is by far actually the most kind of sane. I don't know. She seemed the most sane and the most optimistic character. I say that with with how dark the movie is. I say that with some sort of mix of pessimism and cynicism. Because she has hope for humanity that people will not participate in the Purge, and she's afraid of the Purge and afraid what the people might do and what the people are capable of in this time. Now, she kind of goes through this transformation in the movie, and it's not a particularly believable one because it's so rushed, but you can definitely see where it's coming from. It's coming from the angle and perspective of of a person who's been through hell, like a person who does not. I'm trying to figure out of a really good movie that I can relate this character to. I'm totally blanking out. But, alright, I'm just going to lay out a template. I guarantee you can find a movie where a character says, I do not believe this exists. I don't believe it until I see it for myself. And then when they finally see it and confront it, they're frightened and they have the desire to fight it later on in the movie. I mean, they have, I'd rather not fight it, and they later learn that they have a need to defend themselves, and they figured, fuck it. Now, this, by far, best character. Mainly reason, I'll get to that because it will spoil the ending, but I will talk about, when I'm talking about character, I might as well talk about the villain now. The villain is, one of the main villains anyway, of the House Invaders, who takes his mask off. You see him in the trailer. He is hammy as fuck. There's no way, there's no going around that. But he's even worse. He's not intimidating at all. He's the least convincing villain I have ever seen in a movie. Mainly because he acts so... He tries to pull off, this Joker, Dark Knight Joker kind of character, and by the judge of his clothes, and he says this, by the way, that he's particularly high class, and people with him are in particularly high class, hunting down a homeless person. Which brings up the point of exterminating classes, but I'm getting ahead of myself again. Now, what this guy wants is just the homeless guy. And he will threaten to kill the entire family if they don't hand him over to him. Now, mind you, this entire movie takes place in about an hour. The length of the movie reflects the encounter of the entire situation. This takes place in an hour and 20 minutes. The entire principle of the Purge and the majority of the action during the Purge takes place within a good hour and 10 minutes, which I actually thought was actually a bit clever for a movie to do that. Now, I'm pretty sure that the movie definitely had some gaping holes in its timeline. Excuse me, I was about to sneeze. But then again, it's a movie that wasn't very believable to begin with, and in fact was very, very silly. No, the hammy villain didn't help too much. Especially when they had the phrase in this movie, "Unleash the Beast." Now, in any context, that would maybe work. Here, they kind of hammer it in. The first time you hear it, it was on the radio, and you think, okay, this radio host, okay, he's trying to spice up his show with some flavor text, just something a little lighthearted, just to bring it out there. Then you hear people repeating it. The villains say, "We will unleash the beast upon you." Smiling. Saying that kind of tone of voice, "We will unleash the beast upon you." How is that a legitimate threat? And the more you hear it, the more that its effect wears off. And sort of the effect of the movie kind of goes away. I honestly, I cannot say for certain. But this entire shebang really is just an entire misadventure. $25 million taking place in one location, a house. It's just an entire missed opportunity. You could have invented the world. Okay, fine. I would believe that unemployment rate is going down 1%. I would believe that this government's new form of government sanctioned murder for 12 hours in one day of the year. Provide something more interesting to do with it. This family, I don't care for them. We don't care for them. We see them, we learn who they are through just their basic archetypes. Then, fuck it, you're on your own. There's literally nothing to be caring about for these people. And when I said this movie was produced by Michael Bay, trust me, you can tell. If you've seen any of the remakes Platinum Dunes has made, and if you don't know what Platinum Dunes is, it's Michael Bay's production company, and they are the brilliant masterminds behind such remakes of Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Those are just some to name a few on top of my head, because those are the ones where I'm particularly offended by, because they somehow managed to make a franchise out of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Thank God they didn't do it with the new Freddy. Or the new Jason. Fuck. Now, what I mean by that, you can tell, is that in those movies, you have frantic, tight-ass angles. Like, you could see some characters, like normally, like this. Like, really, really tight camera angles, like that. And even for, like, some distant sway shots, you can definitely tell. What should I also say about this movie? Oh, yes. I should talk about the ending, too. The ending is by far the silliest thing ever. Everybody was laughing at this fucking part because it was so ridiculous. Yet, it was kind of the only way to end the movie, because the movie at this point is just sort of debated on morality and the moral efficacy of the actual event that's happening outside, the Purge. Now, the wife... I'm going ahead of myself. The dad is dead now. He's stabbed. The main villain, the guy you see in the trailer, he takes off his mask. He's dead now. Got shot to death by the daughter. Now, what happens? Well, in the beginning of the movie, we see some neighborly folk around the neighborhood, and they briefly imply that they do not like them. Mainly because that they, the dad, in particular Ethan Hawke's character, is a salesman of security systems. Now, they don't like him because he's been selling them around his community, which is his job, mind you, and the community holds a grudge on them from their newfound wealth because the guy is good at his job and he's been selling people security systems to protect themselves from the Purge. Sorry if I've been just yawning and scratching my nose. I have kind of a stuffy nose, and I kind of just woke up from fucking coma. But aside the point, I'm trying to be as articulate as possible. And okay, fuck it. Now, this is by far the most ridiculous part. The neighborhood folk come in, kill off the remaining in-house invaders from the initial raid, and they're like, "We came to help," and they were like, "Oh, thank God! Now we're gonna kill you. You're ours now. Fuck you. Fuck you and your wealth. We live in this prosperous suburb and everybody's supposedly rich, and now you're richer than us because you're using supposedly our money to fund to get your house. You got where you are because of us, not because your father or your husband is good at your job. Flimsy reasons like this and flimsy like this logic is the reason why The Purge just comes off as a silly movie rather than an actually decent satire, which it tries to be. Now, I feel that The Purge itself is a ridiculous sentiment, but okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Ending. Now, the homeless guy, they were going to give them to the rich people, the wealthy young house invaders. Now, they somehow let us. I'm trying to think how I'm going to articulate this because it's so. Now, the movie brings up the homeless guy, okay? For the entire first 40 minutes, they hunt this guy down, they tie him up to a chair. We briefly see him freeing himself, and then never see him again. When the guys come in, then their neighbors come in, and they say, "You're ours now. We're going to kill you because you're richer than us, using our money for your own well-being, because that's how the world works. You exchange services and get paid for it. It's not their fault that they're selling it in your neighborhood, which you paid for nonetheless." Again, giant leaps in logic. Now, the homeless man comes in, shoots one of them dead, neighbors anyway, and he's like, "I could kill these guys right here, right now. What will you do?" And the wife, if you thought the wife was going to kill them, here's where I think the movie took a really a clever turn, yet it was the wrong turn at the same time. Bear with me, I will get to it. Now, what happens right now is her choice is to wait out the purge. Wait out until with the guys, the neighbors. Wait out with the neighbors in the middle of till morning at their table, their dinner table, and they'll be like, she has a brandished shotgun. The guy the homeless man is holding a gun, aiming at these guys. If they make any wrong move, they're dead, or they will get shot or put in their place. And she wants to have the rest of the night in peace, like she intended to, with her husband. Now, that's how this film ends. Aside from a little act of violence, which made a lot of people laugh. One of the new protagonist, the new antagonist. Fuck me, shouldn't be this tired. The new antagonist. She reaches for the shotgun. The wife just butts the shotgun in her face, breaks her nose, and slams her head into the table. And she's just like, "Stop. No more killing. I refuse to kill you. If you do this again, I'll slug you one. But I will not kill you because no one's going to die tonight. Too many people have died in my house tonight. And you're all going to walk out of here and you're going to live your lives. And we will continue our lives as neighbors, but we will never speak to each other ever again." Now, this is understandable. You can understand where the wife is coming from with this. She just lost her husband. They just went through hell. Entire upper class, entire like group of the upperclassmen raid their home, and they are saved by instead of coming to the point where I'm just might as well cut these out. Seriously, they're just like cutting. I'm just every time I yawn, I will cut it out. So if you see any frantic jump cuts, I'll explain it. You'll understand why now. But now that's how this movie ends. The movie ends with them just opening the door and paramedics, police, and firemen are dispatched to take care of it. And for the first few minutes of the ending credits, you hear the aftermath of what happened during the Purge. Now, with all my leaps with all the leaps in logic and everything I said, the movie does have some cool ideas. Now, does it execute it well? Hell fucking no. Now, this entire movie is based upon giant leaps in logic. How much are you willing to buy? If you're willing to buy the ludicrous concept of murder being sanctioned for a night, then you might be able to enjoy this movie. But the giant leaps, for me, the entire, just the flimsiness of all the dialogue, the hamminess of all the performances, majority of them anyway, and frankly, the short running time, I felt kind of cheated out of my money worth from seeing this movie. Not because I thought it was bad, not just because it was so short. 82 minutes for a feature-length film doesn't really cut it now for nowadays. I demand a film. If I go to see a movie, I demand to be entertained. And for like a violent standpoint, the movie has a lot going for it. In regards to the Purge, people just openly, randomly kill people in the street. Now, we never see any of that, and the violence we were given, the most gruesome death is a woman getting her chest blown off with a shotgun. Now, that's the most gruesome death, and which kind of warrants just a meh from me. Anyway, and also, I should just also say right now, as a horror film, it kind of failed. It failed to give us he failed to give us a menacing antagonist, and all the scares that it provides are all jump scares. Another feature from Platinum Dunes, mind you. Anyway, this vlog went on a lot longer than I thought it would, but I had to get out my thoughts on this, and I came home after Friday Night Magic really, really tired. So tired that I forgot some stuff at the card shop. I might have to go get them back today. But other than that, I would recommend you seeing it if it's your kind of movie. It's not my kind of movie. Not my kind of horror movie, anyway. And off my recommendation, I would say this is worth a rental, or just don't watch in the theater, just wait till it's on Netflix or something. I guarantee you it's going to be on Netflix. So, with that said, this is the Gorehound signing out, and this is a really, really long vlog. Holy shit. Rambling on for 23 minutes now, and adjusting for the time I'm going to be chopping out for my excessive yawns and pauses. I will say, I'm gonna record another commentary sometime soon, but I will make a separate video on another update that I thought I wouldn't have to make, but I will make that shortly. Okay, until well, a few minutes later, whenever you see this, hell. This is the Gorehound signing out, and just gonna post an update soon in next couple of hours. Cool.